The man's about to turn into a zombie, but his daughter is only 3 months old. Andy wanted to end it all with the knife, but looking at his adorable daughter, he just couldn't go through with it. His daughter had already lost her mother. If he died too, how would his daughter survive? So he decided to find someone who could take care of her, while he still had his mind. But his daughter wouldn't stop crying. Andy knew she was missing her mom, so he took out his wife's perfume and sprayed some. And just like that, his daughter stopped crying. The father and daughter made it to a small town. There, they met a retired doctor. The woman could tell right away that Andy had been bitten, but she didn't turn them away. She even bandaged up Andy's wound. Andy thought she was carrying a new medicine. She'd be the perfect person to look after his daughter. So Andy decided to leave his daughter in her care. But what he saw next stopped him in his tracks. The woman had a terminal illness and didn't have much time left. Andy didn't want to burden her, and he didn't want to gamble with his daughter's future. He decided to keep looking for someone else, but the infection kept flaring up. Andy was running out of time too. So the next day, he said goodbye to the woman on the road. They ran into zombies. An old man saved them. He even brought them back to his place. Andy thought he'd finally met a good person, but the old man locked him and a girl in a cage to lure zombies so he could loot whatever valuables they had on them. Smart Andy tied some rotting flesh to a rope and used the zombies to lift up the cage, then escaped with his daughter. Andy decided to keep searching for someone kind. He wanted to ask the girl for help, but she flat out refused.
I don't care about you or your baby.
So the father and daughter had to go on alone. Andy's infection flared up again. He fought hard to keep it from hurting his daughter. He dug a hole with his hands, planning to bury his head in it and suffocate himself, but he ended up passing out. After a long while, Andy came to, only to find his daughter was gone. He frantically searched for her. Turns out it was Thumi who saved them. Thumi decided to help them after all. Thumi brought them to a family, but the man was digging a pit. Andy asked if he could help take care of his daughter. The man said no. Turns out he'd been bitten too, and was planning to end it all with his family. Andy had no choice but to leave. As gunshots rang out, Andy stood there helplessly. Andy picked up the gun. He wanted to end it all with his daughter too, but then his daughter actually spoke. This was the first time his daughter called him daddy. He was over the moon. He decided to stay with his daughter until the very end, but the infection had spread through his whole body. Andy could barely walk anymore. He used sheer willpower to fight his craving for blood and help Thumi keep moving forward. Finally, he couldn't hold back much longer. He handed his daughter to Thumi, kissed his daughter one last time, then walked off by himself. Looking at the rotting flesh on the ground and the stick in the girl's hand, Andy finally had an idea. He tied the rotting flesh to the stick, dug a rock out of the dirt and stuffed it in his mouth, then tied his hands together with rope. That way, even if he lost his mind, he wouldn't hurt the two girls. Then he carried both girls on his back and kept going. This was the last thing he could do for his daughter, and a father's final gift of love to his child. After who knows how long, they ran into Thumi's tribe. The scene before them shocked the tribe. The chief wanted to put Andy out of his misery, but Thumi stopped him. Thumi took out Andy's wife's perfume and sprayed some. Andy instantly calmed down. Thumi signaled to the chief that he could do it now. Andy had finally completed his mission.